So this is like D4, D5 game. So Kassadin middle versus Talia. Okay. Pretty hard matchup, actually. Not the worst matchup,
Not the worst, yeah, but
but pretty hard. Yep.
I
So
checked his OPGG and he didn't have any magic resists. He also had double-edged sword, so I was like happy with my Q damage in this game against him.
okay. So Dark Seal start
Yep.
and refill. Okay. I think this is fine with TP. Do you take TP every game on Kassadin?
Every game, yes.
Okay. That's fine. Okay. I think this. Yep.
Yeah, I was like about a month ago. I peaked Diamond 3,
Okay.
but like every game was I just felt like I was so lost and didn't know what to do once I got into Diamond 3. Like I didn't know how to win as a Diamond 3 player, and I dropped into Diamond 4 and I took a break trying to get back into the shape. Like not into the shape, I guess I'm already in the shape, but I just want to like need coaching so I know how to approach in
Okay.
Diamond games.
Okay. Do you remember where you were last session?
Oh,
Uh,
I was like a plat 5.
oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, it was a long time ago. I don't exactly
Yeah,
remember.
it was a long time ago, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good. Ooh. Yep. So when she shoves like that, there's nothing you can do.
And
Good that
yeah,
you're waiting for your Q. Yep. Good poke. Yeah, if she wants to push the lane, there's not much you can do about that. You have to wait. You have to let the minions hit the turret here. Yep. Have to just concede a bit here. Don't really have the choice. Okay, good. Don't overgreed for CS early on, because you're winning trades. As long as you make sure you stay behind minions, you don't get hit by his Q. Good. Once he gets a lot of work ground in the lane, it's a lot harder for him to harass you. Take W second, the last hit, get
yep.
mana, good. Okay. It doesn't have E, so you don't have to be too worried about that too much. Or it doesn't have W, my bad.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Good Q. Nice. So something you can do, it's not as applicable in this lane because if you're behind minions, you're usually okay. Um, it's good already that you haven't done it yet. Queuing minions is one of the worst things you can do.
That's yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna walk up to last hit, just queue him, and then try to get him to back off when you go to last hit.
Yep.
Another thing is it doesn't happen as much at Talia because she just spams Q and spells. But
Yep.
if someone is auto attacking you, um, if someone's auto attacking you, and you're Kassadin or you're any melee champion and they're a ranged champion, the best
I'm
thing,
happy because of the minion aggro.
yeah, the
Yeah.
best thing you do is you just back up first, and then you just back up until they turn around, and then when they turn around, you hit the key on them because a lot of times they'll hit you with one auto, and then if they don't immediately, like if they keep going towards you, they're gonna eat minion aggro. But once they realize you're backing up, they're gonna back up too. As soon as they turn around, then you just put the Q back on them, and sometimes they'll want to trade back after you Q them, and they'll walk up to get another auto, and then they'll eat even more minion aggro.
Yep.
So that's a small thing you can keep in mind. Ooh, okay, okay, that's fine. You don't have ignite, so kind of hard to get that kill. So Talia flash. So lane's in a good spot for you. He's pretty chunked out. I'd honestly put a second point into Q here instead of E, just because the way this lane goes, you probably won't need your E. He should never get up into your range of E.
Yeah, I usually go second Q, but I saw a kill
Okay.
opportunity. He overextended, so I
Yep.
just went with the slow.
Yep. Okay. That's fine. Yeah. He definitely shouldn't have been in the lane as long as he was. That's good.
Yep.
Good
He
recognition.
overextended.
Okay. So good to keep the wave there. You're just gonna TP back here. You're gonna miss like nothing. Let's check your buy. 745. You have quite a bit of options here. You could get corrupting Ruby Crystal. You could get Ruby Crystal boots. Um, If you want to control ward, probably your best bet is just Ruby Crystal control.
Yeah, rush for the the fates.
Yep. Yep. That's fine. You're not gonna have a control, but not the worst thing in the world because you do have the wave in a really good spot for yourself.
Yeah.
Yep. This last thing normally here, not pushing the lane, really good. Gonna force him to walk up with no flash. Give your jungler an opportunity to come pretty easily, and you have EXP and gold lead. So this is like perfect for you. This is exactly where you want the lane. Okay, whenever you walk up, Q him. Perfect. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you can kind of just walk up for everything now at this point.
Alright.
He can't really do anything to you. You have too much sustain and HP. Plus you have Q to trade back with. Yep. Good trade. Didn't get aggressive for auto. Didn't get greedy for auto attacks. You're running. Yeah, you're Deathfire Touch. Yep. Oh. Nice. It's good to see you're not tunneling on harass. You're not missing CS for it. Okay. There's a UD here. Okay. Good. You're hugging the side your jungler's on too. It's really important. Even though you have vision on that side, it's just usually better to hug your jungler's side. If there, unless you're not 100% sure that someone can come up on you on the river, even if you're hugging your jungler's side.
Yeah, I was right here. I was hugging the left side, thinking I would escape in time, but I just couldn't.
Okay. Yeah. In this case, once you see Udyr cross like you did here, then you know he's on the right side. You hug the left. You just don't hug it as much as you can. Obviously, I haven't seen the gank yet, but
I was so certain that he was gonna circle around and come back, so I was like hugging the left side pretty heavily. But I went for one CS right in the middle. That's where like I stepped into the middle, like right there.
Yeah.
I got away from my left side, so I got caught.
Yeah, that's really all there is to it. You said it yourself. Like, yeah. If you're gonna commit to playing on a side, you have to just concede. It's kind of like the same concept as the early laning, where if you don't have flash, if you had flash there, then you lose your flash there, but at least you survive. But it's the same concept as early laning, where you give up CS because you can't eat harass for it. If you're gonna hug a lane and there's a chance that if he wraps that he can wrap on you, and like you don't have like summoners to survive it, then you kind of just have to play it like it's early laning all over again and give up the CS, because the alternative is in the early lane you get harassed, and in this you just get ganked and you die. You said it yourself, like when you're gonna hug a side, you can't get greedy with hugging it, with like leaving it for CS, because then you get punished. Like it's really rare that you'll get punished, like just for like it was literally the first CS you'd gone up for, but. It's just something to keep in mind, especially with like junglers who are better at ganking than Udyr. It happens a lot more frequently, especially because I'm pretty sure you're quite close to 6 when you died too. Let me just check your EXP. If you just given up a little bit of more EXP, if you just given it a little bit more time, like this wave won't give it to you, but halfway through the next wave, after all these are dead, you'll get 6, and then at that point, like it's impossible. It's pretty much impossible for you to die to an Udyr gank if you're hugging a side, unless like he just flashes on you. But even then, you probably still live. So yeah, just really greedy play. You're gonna lose a lot out of this. Yeah, that's the thing about a lot of these things. It's a greedy play, but you get so rarely punished for it that you begin to think it isn't greedy. So you buy Amp Tome here. Let me look at your gold. 659. Okay, so it's a really awkward buy. If you wait a little bit, you have Catalyst. You could always do mana crystal, control ward. If you like Ionian boots, you have enough for Ionian boots here. You can go no magic mantle for Talia. You can go into merc treads. So what's your logic behind this Amp Tome here?
think I just wanted the pure AP against no magic resist Telia.
Okay. So I don't really agree with this, just because you're not going to use this until your second item. I'm assuming you're building Rod of Ages, so it won't be in effect until next item, and it's gonna delay your Rod. And the thing is, like that 20 AP for the Amp Tome is noticeable, but it's not gonna be super significant, and it's gonna delay your Rod basically. Just that's the gist of it. Yeah, so not looking like you're undoing. Nope. Okay, you're walking, and you need a control word too at this point.
Yeah, that's true.
It's way too late into the laning phase to not have controls, especially when you have that much extra gold. Honestly, I wouldn't have thought it wouldn't have minded you waiting for Catalyst and not having control because you were level 6. But if you're gonna go for something like Amp Tome and you have leftover gold, you have to be buying controls. So you can look for aggressive trades now. Okay, that's too aggressive. Alright, I'll make sure actually. Let's look at your vision, okay? Udyr showed bottom on a gank not that long ago. So you hit level 6 here. Okay, so you see Udyr here, and he's walking up to you. And you immediately go for a trade. Okay, so for that, it's okay, because
yeah, I saw him.
You saw him in decent amount of time.
Far, yeah.
But now, if you go in again, it's greedy. Okay, so you see Udyr on the red. You're not moving. Okay, now you're moving. Okay. Okay. Cut. Cut. That guy just really wants to trade kill. You got 2 stacks. Don't chase. Good. Okay. A little late on the rotation, but other than that, it's fine. Head back to mid here. Wave kind of sucks for you. You'll get the cannon. So you can just... a few options here. You can shove this and go back. You can shove it and go top. Top probably isn't going to happen because since you're just proxying, you'd have to basically kill him by yourself. Although he does have 3 Dark Seals. Okay. So let me actually... so you wanted to shove it. Okay. Okay, so you were autoing the whole time. Okay. Okay. So let's check your gold. 1165. Blasting 1 is fine here, but then you don't have a slot for a control because you bought the Samplifying Tome earlier. Catalyst control word is fine too. See, at this point, I think it's probably best to just take the blasting 1 because you're not sure you're not sure you're gonna get 850 again. The problem is you don't have a control. Once again, you're gonna be pretty much. I'm assuming you're gonna be in lane for at least 2 minutes, so you're gonna be 10-11 minutes into the game and not had a single control word as mid lane yet, which is pretty unacceptable considering like the fact that especially as Kassadin, who's someone who leaves his lane pretty often, you have so many opportunities to put it down anywhere you want. You don't have one for the first like 10-11 minutes of the game. That's pretty ridiculous. And you would have had one if you just didn't buy that Amplifying Tome early. Like if you're gonna go Dark Seal and refillable, and obviously you always need a slot for boots. Like the thing about buying components for the next item is 1, it delays your rod, and 2, like you have no slots now for anything.
Got it.
So getting greedy for that Amp Tome, really not a good decision. Okay, so just harassing every single time he walks up, staying behind minions pretty well, making sure you don't eat free Q poke over and over. Okay. I have Vision of Udyr, so not too bad. But you need to back up now. Okay. So something you can do, just a small thing. Something you can do against champions who have very specific abilities that they need to hit on you to trade properly as Kassadin. You can actually just walk up and QE, and then you just keep walking forward to get to show that you're gonna try to W them. And most of the time they'll get afraid. You can just bait out cooldowns, and then if they're further away, like let's say Italia is like in the middle of the lane, you QE start walking forward. If she tosses like her W at you, and then her combo, you can R forward and just dodge it and then kill her, and she has to flash because she'll have no cooldowns and you'll be on top of her. And you can just walk up QE, and then when she uses it, if she's too close to tower like she is here, like if you'd done it right here, you just R away. You don't need to R forward like this every time, because every single time you do this, it's a lot easier for him to just trade harass on you, right? But if you walk up in QE, then you can just R away if you can't get in range for the QE, or after the QE, if you're still walking forward and he's scared of you, then you just R away. And it's also, you can do that even without vision of their jungler sometimes, because you're R'ing away. You're not committing to R'ing forward immediately in the trade. So like most of the time you're just R'ing forward here because you see Udyr, so you don't have to be afraid. But obviously, like if you don't have vision of Udyr, that's pretty much suicide. So the safer way to do it is just to walk up in QE and then hold your R until he pressures you with an ability. Okay. Pretty free kill, yeah. He's just playing too far up. Good punish. Minions are gone. Just shove this wave. Okay. You should have enough for your row, or really close to it. Okay, so you see Udyr, so you can go ahead and use an R to shove this wave. Okay. Make sure you're using, your E before any of your other spells. Good. And you see Udyr, just back up. Okay. So your TP's up now too, you can start looking for plays pretty soon.
I think I TP bot right now. Forgot. I think I did. But...
You're buying with this 1300. Okay. So you sell your amplifying tome to buy Roa.
Yeah.
That's really... Like, it's the better play in the situation. The problem is you just shouldn't have had the Roa, and you shouldn't have had the Amp in the first place. Good, yeah. So, you're on a really good timing for Roa. So, you'll be real strong here. Good that you don't waste your TP to go to lane here. You're really fucking greedy for 3 minions. Okay, so you see Talia at top.
I TP.
TP match here. Okay. Works out. And yeah, just a double. Okay, so in situations where your top laner isn't as tanky, or situations where the enemy team isn't so weak, going for a TP like this is actually pretty sketch most of the time, because the way the situation is gonna play out is that Singed is gonna, he has one way to go only, really. He has to go away from you. And if you're TPing and you're already late to the play, and the person you're trying to help or the people you're trying to kill, they're going to be going away from you. Like, they're definitely going away. Because Singed can only run one way. He can only run to the right or to down. But both ways are, like, he can run 2 ways, but they're both away from you, is the point I'm trying to make. And they're going to obviously follow him and try to kill him. So, like, they're going to be far from you. If they played this properly, like, or it's a different top laner, most of the time they're just dead. Like, you end up using both your summoners for 1 kill here. And the thing is, like, had you just, like, walked too from this position, because if you identify the situation quickly, obviously he's gonna go one way only. He's not gonna turn back that way. He's trying to go this way. You can just walk up and meet up with him and save probably both of your summoners here. Like, it's a good it's a good idea to go for the play. Like, you know, obviously, like, they're mid roams, you match with the TP. But just in execution here, it's not the greatest idea, just because of how far you are from the play, and how easy it would have been to walk instead of just teleporting.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
So it's good that you see, like, oh, if they're making a play, like, they're in a mid later, I can just match it with TP. But the second step to that is just saying, like, if I, like, just, like, thinking about how, like, the situation will play out, right? as well. Just like, oh, it's like, are they gonna run for me if I TP? Like, is my laner gonna die or get too low to fight before my TP finishes? How far would it be for me to walk? Like, what are like the chances I can get a kill if they have summoners? All that stuff. So yeah, just like keep more like things in mind when like channeling TP like that. Because like if you had TP right now for like something like that, once Thresh comes back, that's like a free double.
Yep.
And you'd still have your flash right now. And you'd save turret. You're gonna lose first turret here if they want it. Yep. So they greeted pretty hard for this. So good roam here. You'll pick up some free kills. Good. Don't tunnel on Trist. Okay. Let your Warwick tank go in after him. Yep. Very fun. Good roam. Nothing much to say about it. You can return to middle. Okay.
I think I lose turret here.
Yeah, you're gonna lose turret regardless. You can either base or walk over. Either one is fine. It really depends on your gold count. So let's see what it is.
I think it's like 1200.
1200, and you want Lich Bane second. Yeah, that's fine. Just grabbing Sheen here. That's fine. Nothing really wrong with that. You can pick up 2-2 boots here too. Really, any of the boots are fine this game. Sork's fine. That they're not very tank heavy. They're not gonna get a lot of MR based on what this guy's building already. This guy's the only one who could potentially build tank, but he's got a goddamn Tiamat and warrior components, so he's probably not going very tanky. So Sork's is fine. Ionians is fine. Mertreads is fine. Tabi is honestly fine too, but I don't think you need it in this game. Oh, he's dead. So finally got a control word and placed it. Good. Okay. So rotating top here to hold the turret with Warwick. If you didn't have Warwick here, it'd be better to just shove middle because you've seen Talia and you've seen Rakan and Udyr could still be in the area. Because Warwick is here, you can come up to hold this. But if he's not here, then there's really not too much point in holding it because there's potentially 3 there. They can just force you off the turret and then you lose all the mid waves.
Yeah.
But because Warwick's here, you're free to catch the farm, so that's fine. Cut. Singe is TPing in the middle. Just walk back to top here. Good that you posture for the play. If no one had showed up top, you could have kept going, but now that Yasuo's top, then you identify you have to go back to the lane to hold turret, so that's good.
And, like, here's the problem starts with this game, and I had no idea. Should I continue, like, holding this turret? Because no one defended this turret, and I was the only one who was, like, thinking that I should probably defend this turret, and the entire game ended up being I defend this turret.
Just ping Singe to come over.
Ping Singe to come over?
Yeah, because the thing is, you're way stronger than Singe at this point in the game, and your roams are way better than Singe's roams. So, someone, like, ideally you don't want to lose this turret for free. If Singe doesn't want to come though, like if I was in this game, I'm fed as Kassadin. I want to be in the mid lane so I can catch my farm and I can roam to a lane when I see a play. I don't want to be stuck top holding lane against someone I probably can't solo kill because he's got PD at this point. Now I just ping Singe and I tell Singe to come up and hold the lane because I don't like. It's really bad for you to be stuck in this lane.
Yeah.
You're either the strongest or like you're real close to the strongest guy on your team and you're really mobile. You just want to go. You want to go off. You want the ability to go off into side lanes and just pick off people. But like if he doesn't come up to hold it for whatever reason, he's tilted, he doesn't want to go to the lane or whatever, then after a while I would just drop it and go because sooner or later, like someone's gonna get caught. Well, yeah, the tower's gonna drop, but also like someone is gonna get caught and start a fight, and if you don't have TP and you can't make it to the fight, then that's really, really bad because then your team just throws and you're ahead. You want to be there in every fight to impact it. So
yeah, this defending like top turret as a Kassadin, when I'm like ahead, I had never scenarios like that, so I was like so confused on what to do. That's why I wanted the coaching on this.
In some cases where like you can actually like kill the enemy top laner, or like the thing is like The thing about this situation is that you can hold against the Yasuo like completely fine.
Yeah,
You're really ahead. You have a level up. You have your rod already. You got Sheen. You got a lot of steel stacks. Like you can hold on the Yasuo for days. Like it's gonna be a long time until he can actually like pressure you and take the turret. But that's not the problem. The problem is you want to be using your gold like to impact like the rest of the map rather than just be held down in a lane. Because the thing is like Singe can hold the lane just as well as you. Maybe not just as well as you, but he can hold the lane and not lose turret because he just runs through Yasuo and kills the wave. And the thing is, it's way more impactful for the team to have you in a fight than Singed in a fight. Which is the main problem from this. Like if you're coming like in a different scenario where like your team isn't looking to fight middle right now, you just tell your jungler or you tell your bot lane to come up top and hope you break turret and kill Yasuo. Because they then like regardless of how it happens, you want to be making a play. Whether you're calling your team over to make the play or you're going down into another lane to make the play, that's fine. The thing is, you just want to be making a play with your team at this point. Like you're not at like one-shot status yet, so you want to be. You don't want to be just stuck in a lane 1v1ing at this point, especially because I don't think your TP is like actually up. Let me just see. Yeah, your TP is not actually up. I can't tell when it's up, but it's not up right now. So all those factors play into why you don't want to be stuck holding in the lane. Like going to catch a wave is completely different, you know. Like going up to top to catch this wave earlier was completely fine because like otherwise like no one's getting it and Singe was already mid for you, right? The problem is like after that like this is downtime. Like Singe doesn't need to be middle right now. There's literally like no wave. They're just looking for a fight, and like you could just like shove this wave and then Singe would walk up, right, and then he'd be fine to hold it. But instead like they're fighting middle. Like regardless of how this fight goes, like you want to be there, you know, whether to like turn the fight for your team or just like get gold from it because like you want to snowball, you want to kill, you want to get kills with your lead. Yep. Oh god. Oh, okay, that's Hero. I thought that was bad. Okay.
Yeah, like from this point I was like starting to tilt a little bit because like I knew I could carry this game because I was so ahead. But then I was like stuck top, and I was like getting mad, kind of getting mad, like that I have to sit top. So I guess I should have just called Singe to come, because I never had scenarios like this, so I wasn't sure what to do. So I just like stayed top by myself.
I mean, yeah, just talking to your team goes a long way.
Yeah. Should have called Singe then.
Yeah, like. Bot lane can either go mid or top. Like you guys have a few options. Like you can either do 1-3-1. Like I mean, you could do at this case. Okay, so mid turret's still up and top turret's still up. So basically, you guys want to find a way to either break this turret or you want to find a way to break this turret. It's probably better at this point to send your bot lane top with Warwick like 3-1-1 and just hold middle because you guys already lost mid turret. You can just farm it out. Like, just 3-1-1, and then if they make a play top, you just TP to match it, or you walk to match it. Because you want this turret, so you can open up, like, 1-3-1. Because, basically, like, if someone's in a long lane against you, then they're just dead, right? If Tristana comes up and there's no turret here, and the wave's, like, right here, then you just run her down. Same thing with bottom. And you guys can either, like, Singe is a weird champion. He has split pressure, but it's not split pressure where he, like, kills people. It's split pressure where he just shoves the wave really fast, and then disappears off the map, and you guys have double TP. So you can 1-3-1 or 4-1, or even like just 5-man and objective. Like you have in solo queue, like it's probably safer to just 5-man and objective, honestly.
Yeah.
So you guys have multiple options available to you. Like it's not the end of the world to be in a lane against Yasuo. In this case, just because like you're fine, and like he can't kill you, he can't put any pressure on you. You're just free farming. It's just that it's better for you to be making plays with your lead, and you need to just communicate that to your team. Okay, so you're walking middle here. Can't really get anything.
Can't catch them. Yeah.
And also, like you've got a lot of gold on you right now. Looking for that play isn't really ideal, because now like that was like your back timing really. That was like your chance to go back here, but now.
I have to go top.
You have to go top, and you're gonna have to hold on to all of this gold, and you're gonna be at a mana where you can't really kill people. You have enough to like do a full combo, but like you have at this point in the game, you don't really kill anyone with one rotation. It's gonna take like a few rotations, so
Yeah.
you're not really at a great mana either. So once again, trying to shove the wave so you can go back. It's fine. Okay. And just auto Q. And just go back. Okay. So thankfully the Yasuo doesn't stick around, so you get a pretty... Yeah, you get an okay back timing. If he'd stick around, it would have put you in a really awkward spot. So this is the point where you just tell, yo, Singe, go top.
Okay. Okay.
Or and you either go bottom or you go middle. Like
Okay.
probably bottom in this case, and just let your bot lane try to break mid turret. Because the thing is, no one can really side lane against you properly in the bot lane. Because even if the Yasuo shows up, you can probably just run him down the lane. As long as you don't like just face tank all of his Qs while you wait for cooldowns. But the problem is, what you call it? The problem is you just let Singe go bottom here. And while Singe can pressure bottom, he basically fulfills the exact same function top. He just clears the waves so no one can do anything to him. So, couple top turret here. Singe actually just walks middle and there's a huge wave bottom. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I made a mistake.
Yeah.
Thought that was really strong, but no.
I mean, you are really strong. Just,
yeah, not against Yasuo, yeah.
Yeah. You can't initiate trades with the R against Yasuo. Okay. So, like, look at this trade, right? So, there's a lot of mistakes with how you play this trade. Number one, you're R'ing in again. Okay, well, number one, he wins walls your Q. So, immediately, like, you shouldn't be bothering. Because his Q, your Q is like a, what, 8-second cooldown. His win wall is like 20, 26. Like, if he blocks it, just say, alright, and then you walk to the lane and start shoving again. Yeah. Yep. Because you can get lane priority here. You get, like, basically, like, you're forcing him out this way so you can get lane priority. You don't have to be walking up to trade. And next, you're queuing, you're R'ing onto him. Like, R'ing onto someone that you can't immediately kill in one combo is really, really bad. Like, R'ing, okay, basically, the only time you should ever R into someone is, one, you're going to trade, and you're going to win the trade regardless of you R'ing in. And or two, you're gonna R in, you're gonna trade, and then you're trying to bait them forward, and then because by the time your next R comes up, you're gonna kill them with the next rotation. Neither applies here. Again, especially because he still has like shield up too. Like you are directly in, and then guess what? You don't have mana for another R, so you just have to flash away.
Yeah.
Like your champion is good at short trades, and once you have items, you one-shot people. But you're not at either. You're not at the point where you're one-shotting people, and that's not going to be a short trade. So you gotta stay away from those, especially with how many R stacks you had on you.
Yeah.
Cool. Team's fighting middle here. Yasuo cancels teleport. So now you're just stuck in a lane. You had all this lead. You're pretty sure you're probably still the richest guy on your team. Okay, no, not anymore. Because I got all that kill gold. But yeah. You were the richest guy on your team at a certain point, and now you're just stuck in the lane. So. As far as trading versus Yasuo goes, oh. Jeez. As far as trading versus Yasuo goes, the best way to do it is just poke off his shield first with Q or E, and then go for like a real trade later. Go. So let's assess the CP. Yep. Let's catch the wave here. Team's on dragon. What is he doing? Okay. He's our TPing behind. So, same concept as last time, except it's even worse in this case, because you don't have any vision of who could be behind him. Like, take a look at your vision when you go onto the Tilia here. Okay. So, same thing, same. The play is running away from you from the start, and then you don't have any vision. Like, look at what you see.
Yeah.
And you are forward here. Like, there could be someone right there. Someone could be coming through. Like, if Udyr's running it, if Udyr's like right here, and then the second you are in, he's running through, you're pretty much dead. It's just really scary to be Ring in like that, and it's not a guaranteed play either. Um, and here's the thing. I'm gonna talk about when you teleport in. It's pretty much always a trade-off unless you're teleporting from base. The trade-off here is that if you leave this lane, you're gonna lose turret. You know, losing turret isn't always the worst thing in the world. The thing is, if you're going to 100% lose a turret, like for like a play, like you're gonna teleport, you're gonna lose turret here, then you want to only give it up if you have like a play that's either high success rate
Okay.
or 100% success rate, or if you're behind, then you go for a play that'll get you back into the game. None of those apply here. It's not guaranteed you get them. In fact, it's a pretty high chance you won't get them. You're not behind. In fact, your team is ahead, so you don't need to be looking for desperate plays. And it's like the thing is, you're not even teleporting it like a good like level of resources. You're pretty low on mana. You're pretty low on health, and you're going in for a play once again that's going away from you. So the success rate is really, really low, and you're guaranteed you're gonna lose something. It's a bit different if you based and you're teleporting from base, right? Because you're defending the dragon. But the thing is, like, this dragon isn't even worth anything, and you're gonna like you could hold this turret if you stay, but you're making a conscious choice to teleport and drop the turret, which is fine if you're getting something, but you're not sure you're gonna get anything at all. Which is why this teleport is really iffy. Okay, so they force you away here. Really not much you can do about it. Your team just wasn't here yet. Should have to catch a spot wave. And you're just gonna
Seems
lose
like
turret.
I have to work on my TP stand.
Yep. Obviously, one game is small sample size, but yeah, the two TPs in this game have had the same issue. You know, like conceptually, it's not that bad because you're trying to help out your team, and you're ahead. You're making a play in response to a play that someone else is making. The problem is, you don't look into more than that. You just see, oh, they're making a play on my team and I have teleport. Let me try to stop them or to counter the play. Whereas you're not thinking about like, what will I be able to do if I make it to the play? What's the chance of success at this play? And what will I lose for going for the play? Like, you gotta keep all those into account when you're looking for a TP. Okay, so Singe TP is bottom here. You see Talia on blue, Udyr bottom, Tristan top. So you should just go top and shove the wave here.
Okay.
Because Lucian's already shoving the mid wave. You don't need everyone here. You want to put multiple lane pressure. Just go and shove the wave, and then you don't have to stay there anymore because there's no turret. You can just shove it and then back up. But the thing is now if Yasuo goes up top, then he shoves it really fast, and then you have to respond to him pretty quickly. Like, this rotation is pretty long. If Yasuo had been shoving the wave the whole time, he'd be right around here right now. But instead, because he made a mistake, you're not going to get pressured for it. The thing is, like, you guys take such a long rotation, you pull so many people over that you just lose lane pressure everywhere. Like, Yasuo should be hitting your turret right now. At the same time, Trist is, because no one went and caught that wave earlier. Oh. Okay, so now Singe just stops, so you don't have to go there anymore. Lucian shoves bottom. And you guys just look to 4-man middle here. It's fine. So yeah, like I said, this game obviously, like we talked about, it's a little bit more different because you were forced to hold top. But once one turret goes down, like the rest of the outer turrets become like your main objective. And obviously, like first blood turret is also an objective too. You always want to be putting concerted effort to pressure the lane where the tower is lowest to try to get first blood turret. And then once that first blood turret's gone, then you want to be trying to get the other outers. And as a mid laner, basically your job is you either call people over to your lane to break the turret, like if you're still middle and that one's still up, or you roam into another lane with multiple people, support jungler, whoever you can bring, and then try to break a different turret. Like that should be your goal. Like this game, you obviously, like I said, you weren't able to really put that into effect because you were stuck holding top lane. But in different games, that's what you should be looking for. Like, as soon as you shove middle, you should be looking to roam and just go to a lane where you can get a kill and then break turret. Fight starting here. Oh. Okay, let's talk about this fight. Okay, so this fight starts with Singed. You're running into people. You guys are late to respond. He's very pushed at the start. So you're walking with your team here, and then you see Talia trailing. And so you turn.
Yeah, I knew Yasuo was there, so I turned him.
Very good fight awareness that that side of the fight is you're not necessary. Okay, so this is the part of the fight where you should just ditch going for this guy and go back over the wall here, because chasing that guy through fog is really sketchy. Because like, look at this scenario, right? If Tristana, instead of turning on Lucian here, instead turns on you when you walk over for Trist here. I mean, when you walk over for Talia here. Right here, because you're walking through fog. You're walking into fog. Boom. She just turned on you, you're dead. You're instantly dead. And if your team, like in a different scenario where like you go for this play and either you're not so ahead or they're not so behind, or your team isn't so ahead, and you get popped here, and your team tries to save you, it's very easy. Like it's like you go over extend for this play, Tristana kills you, your team came in and try to save you, this guy dies, and suddenly instead of winning the fight, it's an even fight, you don't get Baron anymore. When you've already won a fight, you don't want to make the job for the enemy team easier by chasing into them, unless like it's 100% guaranteed, which is not guaranteed. You're chasing in a fog and you lose vision of Tristana, and the rest of your team isn't completely with you, ready to trade the kill if it does go bad. Like 2 of your teammates are off, ready to do other things. The thing is, if you guys just turn around and you start the Baron here, they have to come into you, right? And when they come into you, it's so much easier, right? They're walking all the way through vision, and you just jump on them, right? But instead, you chase into them, and this Talia can just throw Qs at you all day. You have to flash forward and use... you have to flash forward to even have a chance to kill him here. And it's just like, if you guys just turn around and start the Baron, they have to walk into you, and it's so much easier for you to do your job, right? You get full vision of them when they come in, so you can play around knowing exactly where everyone is when you make the decisions to use your cooldowns. But instead you chase into them, and it's a lot easier because they just kite away and just try to play with what they're given. But when you just turn around and start the Baron as 5 here, they either full concede or they have to walk through vision, and then it's very easy if you guys hit a thresh hook or any like singe run at them or anything. Like going forward here is the only way you potentially lose the situation, because you've already won the fight, you know? Like, going forward here, like, it's very real that Lucian could have died and you could have died if this plays out just a little bit differently. And then suddenly you don't get the Baron anymore for winning the fight, which is terrible. Like, you guys won the fight so hard. 3-0, clean 3-0 before anyone is even low. Like, look at your positioning right after you guys kill Rakan, right? Look at this. So you guys are going to kill Yasuo, you already killed Udyr. This hook's gonna hit Rakan. And look at you guys are full health, gonna heal off the Baron, full health. Pretty healthy. This guy's the only one who's low, but Warwick can take the Baron. Like, if you guys just turn on Baron here, it should be game. Just straight up game. The only way you potentially lose from this position is if you chase into them like you did, and then you guys get cleaned up. Like, as soon as you win a fight, like, at this point, and no one else is, like, close enough to just chase down and kill quickly, like, regardless if you had killed this guy, it wouldn't have been fast. You would have had to chase him for a little bit. Like, just call your team to do the Baron.
Okay.
Alright, so now you guys turn on a Baron, but now it's later, you know, their death timers are lower, you guys are lower. There's a potential they can turn with, like, TP. Like,
Yeah,
it's still a lower percentage chance, like, don't get me wrong, like, it's very unlikely they pressure you off the Baron. But the thing is, like, if you had done it when I pointed out earlier, like, it would have been so much safer. Look at your HPs now, right? This is so much sketchier. If, like, Talia still has ult, or, like, if Yasuo was up a little bit earlier and he TP'd in, or, like, it was a different jungler who wasn't Death's Tiamat Warrior Udyr who could get over the wall and, like, pressure you, like, this situation gets really, like, much scarier because of how long you guys waste time, right? So, let's take a look at this, okay?
And I make the biggest mistake here.
Oh, God. So let's just rewind and let's not even talk about all of this first for a bit. Okay. So let's take a look at death timers and when you guys choose to start the Baron. Okay. So hold on. I'm just gonna illustrate a situation here. So let's see exactly when you start the Baron. Okay. You guys start the Baron 22 minutes. Okay. So let's see how long it takes you guys to do the Baron. Okay. Okay, so it takes you guys about 30 seconds to do the Baron, okay? So let's say it takes you about 30 seconds to do the Baron, and you start at 22 minutes. When could you have started the Baron? Let's see. Oh, could have started the Baron all the way... So let's say it takes 5 seconds for everyone to get around to the pit, okay? So you start at 21:43, okay? You start at 21:43 and it takes you 30 seconds. So let's track your deer, okay? Let's track your deer through this. Udyr spawns, like, late, for starters. Udyr spawns right around 22:05, okay? So if you had started at 43, it takes you 30 seconds to do the Baron, you kill it at 22:17. Let's see where this guy is at 22:17, okay? 22:17, this dude's barely making it out of base, and you'd be done with the Baron. But instead, because you guys take so much time to chase for no reason, you kind of bait your team into chasing for more kills because you go straight over to Talia, they walk over to try to help you, everyone gets chunked. This shit happens. Regardless of you leaving, like, the Baron at the very end here because you're afraid it'll kill you or whatever.
Yeah.
Regardless of all of this, this doesn't matter because it shouldn't have ever made it to this point in the first place.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it sucks that Udyr with the Death Dance Warrior Tiamat flashes over the Baron very last second with the Trinket Ward he puts in because he just ran straight over from the base after dying. Yeah, this sucks. But the thing is, like, the point is, like, it should never make it to this situation where it even has a chance. That's what's more important. Like, you can never predict what's gonna happen in, like, the micro of a League of Legends game. Like, everyone is a different level of a player, it's different champions every game, it's different situations every game. Like, the micro situations, like, yeah, you can point out mistakes and stuff, but that's not what matters. What's a lot more important is, like, the decisions that lead up to stuff. Because, like, what should have realistically happened is you guys shouldn't have chased Talia and Tristana, you guys never should have been chunked to low HP, and you guys never ever should have started the Baron so late to a point where Udyr would have even had a chance to steal the Baron. And regardless of the fact that you guys should have stayed in and DPS'd a little more, regardless of the fact that Warwick shouldn't have missed Smite, regardless of all of that, like, at the end of the day, it should never have even come to that point. Okay. So, 975 gold, Lichbane no magic, or Lichbane amplifying tome, probably amplifying tome here, and a control. Okay, okay, and you don't buy a controller. You really gotta get into the habit of that. You bought like 1, maybe 2 this game, which is pretty unacceptable, especially on a mobile champ like Kassadin. Like, a little bit more acceptable if you're playing a champion who doesn't want to ever leave the lane like Victor, and you just have one down defensively and it stays there the whole game so you don't need to move it. A little bit more acceptable. Still bad, but, like, at least, like, understandable. You're playing, like, one of the most mobile mid lane champs in the game, and you have the opportunity with your lead to put a ward down anywhere you want, and you just don't. Like, you gotta really fix that.
Okay.
Like, if you have vision of, like, where the enemy jungler and enemy laners are, then you can aggressively trade, like, whenever you want, and you know that when you're roaming through, like, a lane, if you have a ward, like, there, if you have a ward, like, here, then you know, like, you're safe, like, to walk, like, at least, like, halfway down the river, and then by the time, like, if they even have this warded, by the time they see you, it might be too late if they're pushed. Like, having controllers in the river is so great for Kassadin. Okay, so, Udyr's inting. Just easy collapse here. Yeah, just let Warwick kill him. Oh god. No real point in chasing that deep. Lucian wanted to end his life, so you're not held responsible for that. Okay, just showing up top here. They're going for middle. They have Baron. That's definitely dead. So yeah, just make the choice to recall here. Singe is DPing too. Okay. Okay, unfortunately, if Lucian wasn't dead, you could have actually stayed top and kept pushing, but because Lucian's dead, you don't have enough people to defend without you, so you have to recall here. Pretty important drag to fight for too. Singe runs in. Holding onto your R. Oh no. Okay. That's a play that you can only make if you have Zhonya's. And you don't have Zhonya's. So, assessing this fight, there's a few things you can do. Right here, you can make the decision to R over the wall and look to pressure the backline because you have a direct view into the backline here, and you can split their team. Like if you R over the wall here and you step to this point in the river, this line, and you start tossing QE at these two people. What do you, like realistically? What can they really do, right? They have to respect you, so they either run away or you split them and they run towards you. Right? So you can split their team and put pressure on their backline there. If you're afraid that they'll like immediately turn on you and you'll die before your arc comes up, you can flash. You end up flashing here anyway. So the other thing is if you're gonna like when you play Kassadin in team fights, the worst thing you can do is R forward in a straight line without Zhonya's. Like so let's take a R'ing forward here, assessing what you're looking to do. You're trying to hit this guy, you're trying to hit this guy, right?
No, I was trying to kill Talia, but it got flipped away from me.
What were you doing? Okay.
I was trying to execute the Talia. I was trying to finish her off right here. But then Sin just flipped backwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll look at this. We'll freeze frame it. So you're looking. You're looking to finish Talia here. Okay. So we keep that in mind when we assess this fight. Okay. So you're looking to kill Talia here. Okay. Well, first thing, if you're looking to kill Talia, R over this wall, cast QE right here. Like, don't go at this angle, but go at this angle. Because if you're at this angle, these guys can't hit you, right? If you're right here, they can't hit you. If you're right here, they can't hit you. But the thing is, if you're right here, or you're right here, you can still hit this guy. The difference is, these three can't hit you if you're here, but these three can't hit you if you're here. So you just R over right here and QE real quick. And so, let's just say he like flashes your QE or whatever, so he's still alive for this situation when Singe flips. Regardless of Singe flipping the Talia, like, it's better to go from this to this angle and cast downwards away from these three or these four rather than go forward. Because so let's look at Talia where Talia is before she gets flipped, okay? Let's freeze frame it right here. This guy is right here, right? Okay, so he's right here. Okay, this is the last portion you see before he gets flipped. One, you can probably predict he's gonna get flipped. But regardless, like, it's kind of hard in the heat of the moment, I understand, too. Like, oh, Singe is walking up to flip, like, because you're tunneling on yourself and you're looking at everything else. You're not really paying attention to, like, everything. The second thing is, if you go right here to, like, where this rock thing is, you're still in range to QE, right? But, just, like, it's a pretty easy answer. Where are you more in danger from the enemy team? Right here or right here?
Okay.
It's definitely right here. You're way more in danger right here. But the thing is, if you're right here or you're right here, you're still in range to cast on this guy. Like, the worst thing you can do without Zhonya's on Kassadin, and even with Zhonya's sometimes, because you don't want to waste your Zhonya's for nothing, is R forward. I've got some sessions where I've like worked with like Lucian 80 carry players, where the same concept applies, like when you're like trading in lane and stuff. You don't ever want to dash forward. You don't ever want to dash forward unless you're finishing off someone like right then, because and that's just for like Lucian in lane. Like the thing is, when you go straight forward, it's so much easier for the enemy team to get to you because you're gonna be closer to them. You don't ever want to be any closer than you have to be when you're casting on people or putting auto attacks on people or anything, because you want to put yourself at a range where you're in range, but they're either far or they're at their like max range or they're out of range. Obviously, in this case, Talia outranges you, so even if you go over here, you're in range of her, but it's a lot harder. And obviously, in a team fight scenario, like these guys won't even be in range of you if you're right there. And basically, like this will always like apply like to anything. Like you always want to put yourself at your max cast range, so it's harder to get retaliated on, because look how easy it is for them to kill you here. Like it's not hard at all. Like you literally just put yourself in the middle of everyone. You put yourself at this angle. Not only do you dodge this Rakan W, which I don't think he cast at you. I'm pretty sure he was trying to cast a Warwick and you just ended up R'ing in. Like it's so much harder for anyone to get to you. Like yeah, maybe this guy still stuns you and you have to flash away, but you give yourself a way better chance of surviving, or at least like not getting chunked out to the point where you can't fight anymore if you go at an angle. Never go straight without Zhonya's.
Okay.
And even with Zhonya's, sometimes you don't want to. And yeah, this flash is just, you're 100% dead. There's no point in flashing there. And this fight's just over. Yeah, your bot lane wasn't here. That guy's dead. Oh wow, he actually lived. Oh no, he's dead. Okay, so let's look at your gold. Oh wait, okay, you don't buy it. Oh yeah, you bought Phoenix Shadow Base. Okay. And so you won't have gold here. You have like 500. You kill Talia. So you can't really buy anything here. I'm assuming you're going towards Zhonya's. Could be Banshee's Veil too, I guess, but you don't really need it with Merc Treads. Okay, so you guys losing hip here. Oh. They're actually taking it. Jesus. Okay. Just chasing here, that's fine, because you're gonna catch the wave anyway. Oh, you're giving it to Singe. I would have just taken the wave from Singe, to be perfectly honest with you.
Okay.
Your farm is... You getting Zhonya's is way more important than Singe getting farm at this point, because he's already 3 items, and you're way more integral to the fights than he is.
Okay.
At the very least, I would have caught one of the huge side waves. Like, either top or bottom, not just the scraps middle, especially because they're better at killing super minions than you are.
Okay.
So, yeah. Because, like, having Zhonya's is such an important spike for you in this fight, but you're 500, 600 off right now. And not having it before the next fight is pretty insane. Like, it's pretty bad for you. Like, some items like Roa, you know, obviously it's way better if it's combined, you know? Like, versus, like, Roa, completed Roa versus, like, Blasting Wand, Catalyst. But it's not as big a difference when you're getting an item like, Zhonya's, I wouldn't say Lich Bane, or let's use Death Dance as an example, right? Like, so when you don't have Roa, like, you still have the Blasting 1 AP, you still have the Catalyst HP, and that's the core, like, it's like the core stats of Roa, right? Obviously, it's still nice to have, like, the stacking, and you want to get stacking immediately, but, like, it's a much bigger deal to fight with uncompleted Roa than it is to fight with, like, uncompleted Zhonya's, right? Because pretty much all of Zhonya's value as an item comes from the active, and when it's not done, you don't have the active, then the item, like, the components on themselves aren't very good. Same thing with, like, Death Dance, right? It gives you some CDR, it gives you some lifesteal, it gives you some AD, but if you just have the components for Death Dance, like your Warhammer Pickaxe, Vamp Scepter, and you don't have it completed, obviously you don't have the passive, and pretty much the reason the item is so good is because of the passives, right? Like the healing passive plus the bleed passive. So like the thing about like having components for an item like that and being like relatively close like you are, you're like what are you? It's 800 combined, you're 500 off right now. Like you want to communicate to your team like to try to let you get the completed before you have to fight, because the difference between having it completed and not completed is insane. Like it's not even close. Like items with like Lichbane, you know, you're missing out on the Lichbane damage, but you know, at the very least you have the Sheen damage, you still have the mana, you still have the AP, you still have the movement speed, and you still have the CDR. So like yeah, you're losing out on the damage, and it's very apparent when like you're trying to one-shot someone and you're trying to get turrets, but it's not as big a deal as like something like not having like a Zanya's or something. Like Banshee's Veil, like yeah, the passive's nice, but at the end of the day, like you kind of build Banshee's Veil because you want MR, but you still want damage. Like the passive's kind of just extra on top of that. But that's not the same thing with Zanya's. Like when you don't have Zanya's itself, then it's a pretty big drop off versus the components. So when like in situations like this where you're just trying to scrounge up an extra like 500-ish gold to get to the item, like let your team know that before you fight, because like the difference between you having Zanya's components and having Zanya's in a fight is pretty huge. It changes like how you like the whole landscape of how you can approach fights. So make sure you take that into account. You can't walk up for CS here anymore. Your team is not in position. They should all be here except Singe, who's holding on Yasuo. You have to back off the turret here. Oh god. Yeah. Oh. So let's go over this fight. So this fight starts with Lucian calling. Okay. Okay, so beginning of this fight is completely fine. You don't go too deep. You kind of go at like a non-committal angle onto the Udyr. You are onto him while you're still kind of in turret range, so he kind of just has to run away from you because he's eating Lucian calling at the same time. Warwick ults Trist, and then you get charmed by Rakan here. So immediately at this point in the fight, you should just back. You should just.
Yeah, I should have just backed.
It's more like you definitely start backing up. You can still hit Udyr, but going forward is suicide because you see the Talia wall behind you, so you know she's like at least somewhere close. So if you chase forward, unless you insta kill Trist, which isn't gonna happen because of all his peel, you guys are gonna die to the Talia. Because the only way you make it out going forward is if you go forward and you literally just insta-kill these guys and then keep running up away from Talia, and that's not going to happen in this case. So the best case you have is you just hit Udyr a little bit and then you back up. Regardless of them having exhaust here. Like, even if he doesn't have exhaust here, you're probably still not going to kill this guy because you just get knocked up anyway. So yeah. When your team is strong, like this guy's fed. This guy's not super fed, but he's got a lot of kill participation. He's got a lot of gold. You know, he's died a lot, but he has a lot of gold. So, like, your team isn't necessarily weak in this case, and this guy isn't necessarily... Like, this guy is strong, but he's not so strong that, like, if he doesn't die, you're just gonna lose the fight, because this guy is pretty strong. Like, if these people are dead, then, like, the Tristana can't really kill all of you unless you're, like, 1 HP. Like, you can kind of just walk away from the Tristana in most cases. Like, and because this Udyr went such a squishy build, it's better to just go front to back here than like tunneling on the dive, especially when you're not sure if they have exhaust or some or like peel abilities up. Because like if you guys just kill all the front line, it's pretty easy for you guys to run down Trist or leave or walk away from Trist depending on your HP at the end of the fight. And that's just exacerbated by the fact that Talia was coming in for the flank like really early too.
Okay.
So yeah. Like, you don't always have to assassinate the backline on Kassadin. It's usually better to not go straight for the backline unless you're really fed. It's usually better to just hit the front line for a while and wait for the backline to commit, backline and the peel to commit abilities into the fight, and then you go in. Because, like, your job gets so much easier if Rakan doesn't have his ult, if Rakan doesn't have his W, if Rakan doesn't have his exhaust. And the thing is, if the fight is playing out like you're hitting front to back, you're just hitting with whatever's in front of you, and then you go to the back later. Like Rakan is not like you can't. You guys aren't so far behind, or like you guys shouldn't be so far behind that he can just like say, I am not going to use any of my abilities until Kassadin goes in, because like if he holds on to everything, you guys will probably just win the fight. So he's forced to use stuff. Like it's if you guys are like super behind, in a different scenario against like maybe like an Alistar or something. Like with Alistar, literally just says I'm going to AFK on my AD carry, and then as soon as someone jumps in, I'll press Pulverize, but I don't need to press anything else because the team will win the fight without me. Then that's different. But the thing is, like Rakan is going to use his cooldowns here because like he needs to use his cooldowns to win the fight. They're not just gonna win the fight like outright in most cases. So the thing is, if you just hit the front line and you wait for them to use cooldowns, and as soon as you see like, oh, Rakan use this, then you can go in. You know, you don't ever want to just go in at the start because at this ELO, like people are a bit more intelligent. You know, they understand like the concept of peeling. You know, they're not gonna understand it to the point where like they're taking into account like, oh, if like I just hold on to my ability so Kassadin can't go in, then we're gonna win this fight. Like they probably don't understand it to that level, but they do understand like, oh, this guy is gonna try to go in, so I should hold my stuff for a bit until he goes in, and then proceed with the fight. So just take that into account. Like,
Got it.
if you're hitting the front line and stuff, and the fight is going bad for them at the start because like you're hitting front line and stuff, then they'll usually feel pressured to use like their abilities. Like the Rakan will probably feel pressure to go up and try to use exhaust on someone deeper into the fight, rather than saving it for you when you go on the Tristana like he did there. It didn't change that much in that fight because that fight was probably going to be lost anyway. But it's just something to keep in mind when you're team fighting, or when you're just playing fights out. And that looks like they're just going to end here. Okay. So, just breaking down everything. Your laning was good. Not really much to complain about as far as your laning goes. You didn't over-aggress to try to land Q too much. You stayed behind minions trading. You, whenever she took minion aggro, you respected it, backed up. Didn't try to last hit creeps with Q. Your early laning was really good. Like your pre-6 laning, I'd say, really solid. The only real hiccup you had is when you overstepped out of the side you were hugging. You got ganked by Udyr without your flash, but that's just like a small thing. Like rarely you'll get punished for that, and you like I'm sure you're aware of what happened. Your post-6 laning is a bit scarier. This game it didn't matter as much because you constantly had vision of Udyr, so you got to RN constantly. But in different games where you don't have as much vision of the jungler, you need to be a lot more careful with how you RN, because you seem to just like RN like, and like you RN straightforward, and you also RN like constantly, and that gets you ganked really easily, or like get ganked or roamed on really easily. Start doing what I told you, like in lanes where like you're safe to, just walk up and QE them, and then like just walk up and QE, and then whether or not you want to keep walking forward to look for W, that would depend on the situation. But like walking forward to QE and then either walking backwards after that, so they have to try to trade back into you with spells and then you dodge them with your R, or just like walking forward after the QE still while they're slow to try to get W, and then they'll panic and then you can R past them or R away. Like that's a much safer alternative than just R'ing forward. Because like when you R forward, like it's really awkward because after you trade, they just trade back on you, and then like in the cases where like you kill them with 2 rotations, like you R forward, you QE, they trade back on you, but they're low, and then you just R forward again, and then finish them off with your cooldowns. That's different. That's not what was going on in this lane. So when you're in lanes where like you're not killing people in 2 rotations, then you don't want to initiate with R all the time, like you were here. Team fighting, there really weren't that many team fights. Just watch how greedy you're chasing when you're fighting around objectives, and also like pay attention to the threat level of the enemy team when you're Ring in without Zhonya's. Obviously, with Zhonya's you can be a bit more lenient. Unless you're against like Caitlyn or something, you just die as soon as you come out of Zhonya's. But just be more aware of like who you're putting yourself in danger to when you are in. Because like if you're gonna R in at an angle and only one person can hit you, you're probably fine. If you're gonna R forward to try to kill someone in the back and everyone can hit you, then you really want to judge in your head beforehand whether it's worth it to do that or not. You know, sometimes it's fine to trade yourself for the back line if the rest of your team is strong and they can just run through the fight if you kill that one person, and that's fine. But in fights where you're important or like fights are close and you want to keep yourself alive in case the fight turns, then make sure you're only Ring non-committally and not putting yourself in a position where more than one person can hit you without using flash. You know, ideally you want to do it even if they can't flash. Like ideally you want to put yourself only in the range of one person regardless if they flash, but that's not always going to be realistic. So you at the very least just try to put yourself only in range of one person unless the rest flash, if that makes sense. Do you have any questions before we finish up?
Let me see.
Oh, and I forgot TP usage as well. You didn't really have too many opportunities to roam in this game because bot turrets died pretty early and you were stuck holding top for a decent amount of time. But yeah, the few TPs I did see were a bit sketch. Like your TP to lane was fine. Your TP to lane was actually really good. You held the lane in a really good spot and then TP'd back and you got a good EXP and gold lead right from the start after you guys got the gank kill. But or the gank flash, I think. I don't think. Oh no, you solo killed them later. But that's not the point. Like that TP was really good. But your TPs to match, like matching is fine. But generally, it's better to use your TP to make an aggressive play that can't, like, to force them to react rather than playing reactively. Obviously, it's not always going to be the case, but try to get your bot lane to set you up or your top lane to set you up with a ward or, like, getting them pushed and just, like, TPing to the way behind them or something when they all in. Like, rather than always using your TP reactively. And that actually stems from another issue I think I see with you where you don't really talk to your team, you know. I don't think I saw you ping like once this game. Like realistically, like you don't ping, and if you don't ping, you probably sure as hell don't type to your team either. So
No.
you should work on that. Talking to your team is, especially when you're playing a champion who can play in a side lane, is really, really important. You know, communicating your item spikes, communicating what you want to do, like communicating whether you want to hold or whether you want to like split or whether you want to group up as 5. Make sure you're just talking to your team, especially when you're ahead. You know, especially when you're ahead and you have multiple options. You know, if you're ahead as Kassadin, if your whole team is feeding, then you can split push and draw pressure that way. If your team is strong, then you just walk with your team and force objectives. But just regardless of what you choose to do, just make sure you're talking to your team so they're on the same page as you. And yeah, so you have questions?
I guess I have one question. Like, in some scenarios, I can push the lane pretty hard, but then like I try to look for a roam, but the roam doesn't seem like it's gonna work out. Should I like force the roam anyway, or should I just hug the fog and stay out of vision?
Stay out of vision or go ward the enemy jungle.
Okay, I'll go ward the enemy jungle. Okay. That's
usually, like, if you've already warded, then you just stay out of fog. Like, most of the time, there'll be something available to you, whether it's a dive or just, like, a middle of the lane roam. And if the enemy mid laner wave clears, like, so slowly that you can literally just, like, go down and roam, and you won't lose anything for it, then go ahead, even if you won't get a kill on the roam. That's usually not going to be the case. Most mid laners have pretty good wave clear. Maybe just, like I guess, like, a Kali and, like, Kassadin can't really match that because their wave clear sucks. But for the most part, just like go drop a ward and find the enemy jungler, and either like you can like harass him a bit, or like go make a play with like your jungler or your support if possible, like on a different lane, or just disappear out of vision if like none of those like work. Like if none of those work and you've already warded, then yeah, you just disappear out of vision, or you take a base if you have an item. Like very rarely will you be in a situation where like you can't gank, you've already warded. You have no items to buy, etc. Like usually you'll have at least one of them. So yeah, but yeah, if you don't have anything, then yeah, just stay out of vision and pressure a lane that way.
Okay.
You can actually just walk. You can make it so that like if like one lane is getting like pushed in really hard, but you don't actually want to go roam to it because like you either don't think you can kill them, or
Mhm.
like you think you'll lose too much if you leave the lane. When you shove the lane and you start walking away, walk towards that, and then just like walk into like fog like towards that, and then they'll probably have to back up.
Okay.
Even if you don't want to actually go to the lane, they don't know that, but they have to respect the fact that you can do that. So yeah.
Last question is, like, what mid champion should I start playing? Because like, I can play Kassadin, I can play Victor, but Victor is not in a good shape right now. Like, has so many hard matchups, and
Yeah, Victor
I
sucks.
play Zillion, but like Zillion has to depend on their team to do good. And like, I try Syndra, Oriana, they all seem like it just doesn't match my play style. So I'm like really stuck with my mid champion pills.
I think Cassin's fine. Like,
But like it get banned
oh
a
yeah.
lot, so like it's hard to play.
Talia is really good as far as
Uh,
like solo queue carrying goes.
okay.
She bullies lane. She pushes really fast. She can roam. Um, does a lot of damage in team fights. So you can look into that. As far as like, there's not a lot of like. It's hard what type of play style like do you know that? Because like Victor and Kassadin are very different play
Yeah,
styles.
they're different. I like mages like Xerath or Victor. They're good. But like Syndra and Oriana just seem so different. Like, it feels so different to me somehow, even though they're mages.
Okay. Um. Yeah, like Talia's probably like one of the best mid laners I'd recommend because she's so versatile. You can roam and
Yep.
you can bully lane like all of that. Obviously you don't have a dash, but aside from that, she's really well rounded. Um, Ari's okay. Not the biggest fan. I think that's a champion where you kind of have to put a bunch of games into to
Yeah.
succeed on. So not my preferred pick, but that's an option. And really, there's not that much else if you don't like Syndra or Oriana. Like Kassadin's a really good pick. He gets banned often. I just look at Natalia. I don't think she ever gets banned, and
Talia.
she's pretty
Okay.
strong.
Yeah, she
So,
doesn't get banned. You know.
so yeah, that'd be something
She's
to
like
look into.
playing Talia then. All right.
Okay, so
I think
yeah, is that it for questions?
that's everything I had.
Okay, so you ever want to schedule again? You know, just hit me up on Discord or
Mhm.
Skype or whatever. We'll get something sorted out,
All right.
and I'll see you around, dude. Good luck.
All right. Thanks.
Okay. All right.